It's just self-expression. Just self-expression. As all of this is. It's just all the self-expressing. There's just this panic. I mean, it's beyond anxiety. It's something squeezing in the stomach at the base, between the sacral and the solar plexus. There's just this gripping sensation and a squeezing and a breathlessness. There's a sense of urgency that I feel. There is just sheer panic, stampede, cattle stampeding towards a cliff. It's this widespread sensation of, oh my God, what do I do? Oh my God, what do I do? I don't know what to do. I don't understand. I don't know. I want to understand, but I can't. I don't, and I want to. And it's just a spiral. It's a spiral. It's a breakdown. I don't feel like this is just my energy, but at some level it is. At some level it is. And I am just here for it. I want to give it voice. I want to honor it. I don't want to try to change it. I want to let it be here. There is panic here. And that is okay. That's allowed. It's okay to not be okay. And this feels not okay. It's just a rushing. It's a surging. There's so much confusion in it. And this desperation, this urgency, this need to understand. This need to know, this need to have some kind of answer when there isn't one. And something that I repeatedly remind myself and am drawn back to and find a source of peace is the knowledge that all is made clear, all is revealed. If something feels unclear, that's okay. It doesn't have to be clear right now. It'll be made clear. The fact that there is not clarity there doesn't mean something has gone wrong. Doesn't mean anything is wrong. Doesn't mean anything's off track. Doesn't mean you're missing something. It means you're looking too hard. It means you're trying too hard. It means the ego, the mind, the masculine aspect, is writhing in its lack of control. It's afraid that it doesn't understand, and that because it doesn't understand, something will happen. Something will fall apart. It will miss something. It will make a mistake. It will do wrong. It's also not how it works. There is no wrong. There is no wrong that can be done. All of that is old programming. All of that is fear-based, is self-limiting, and I feel it. I feel this fear gripping my body. It's trying so hard to get me to follow it. Nowhere. There's nowhere even to follow it. It's always a wild goose chase. No, is always in a bottomless pit. But even right now, it's like there's nowhere for this fear to take me. It's just trying to shake me, just trying to sink its claws in, create the sensation that something needs to be done. And it does that by fear. And in so doing reveals itself to be illusion, to be unnecessary, to be a thing that I don't need to follow, don't need to participate in, So, this is my letting it happen. My acknowledging, I feel you. I feel this gripping. I feel the fear. And that's okay. It's allowed to be here. So, welcome fear. Welcome fear. You're allowed here. There is nothing wrong with your being. It is not questioned. It's not asked to explain itself. It's simply allowed. I invite your presence here. Let us sit together. It's like this ball of yellow and black electricity. And I feel it as I invite it in. Softening a little bit. There's a spreading in the stomach. I'm so afraid. It's just that. It's, what if I get it wrong? You're allowed to feel that way. You're allowed to feel afraid to get it wrong. Even your fear of getting it wrong can't make it go wrong. That's how big and stable and sure the universe is. It can allow absolute terror. It can allow the feeling even of failure, and still there is no failure. And still all is right. All is as all should be. Even in your feeling. Hi, big boy. Even in your feeling, your fear that something could or has gone wrong. It's allowed and therefore is right and is proven at the deeper level to not be wrong. It is a comfort to know that the universe is so big and so stable that it can contain a sensation this wickedly disturbing and not be disturbed by it. That everything is working out for me, for my highest good, for the highest good of all, even as this experience rips through me, even as this feeling of falling, of uncertainty, of terror is felt, is experienced by me. This sensation, it is just a sensation. And I'll not deny its presence here. And I will not deny my presence here. It's dizzying. It feels like the earth shifting beneath me, like being on open ocean. Like gravity has changed. The point of balance has changed. There it is again. Trying to understand, trying to regain the balance, but scrambling for it. Trying to control, trying to push away the feeling of instability. Instead of leaning into it, let me lean into it. I have no control. Fear is a thing that I allow with the bigness of my being. It is not what I am. It's a little bit smaller. It's just right here in the belly, essentially. There is this sort of lightning bolt, lightning rod feeling. An electrification. It's like voltage, electricity running through me. So much of this in this past week has reminded me, has taken me straight back to this time a year ago, when all of this started, when I started feeling things so intensely I couldn't understand where they came from. Then it was just more and more surrendered. Surrender to feeling like this. Surrender to the discomfort, to the confusion, to the overwhelm. It is overwhelming. I'm sweating, I can feel that. There's physical reaction taking place. It's a little warm out here, but it is that nauseating electricity that runs through every part of your body, that shoots all the way through the extremities and gives you those hot chills, you know. Something is shifting. And the ego is losing its mind. It's terrified. It doesn't understand. It keeps trying to understand. It's okay. It's just doing what it was programmed to do. It's just operating from that old pattern, that old state of dysfunction. It's okay. I'm not going to try to make it go away. I'm just here with it. Would like to cry. That would feel good. I sense there's a desire to get this loose somehow. It feels like excess energy. It feels like an excessive charge. Like being overcharged. Like a battery that's been left charging for too long. Just trying to ground. Oh. Drop the phone. I don't know. I don't fucking know. It hurts, it's uncomfortable, and there's nothing that is wrong. There is nothing that is wrong with that. It's allowed to hurt. It's allowed to be uncomfortable. Doesn't mean anything, but it's allowed to be. Frustration, that is felt, that is acknowledged. everything. Anger. Oh, now it's just all bubbling up. There's anger, there's annoyance, irritation, aggravation, there's exhaustion. Oh, this is so much bigger. This it feels like that masculine egregore. And again, I have resonance with it. I couldn't feel it if there weren't some level of resonance. And it's sort of triggering aspects of my own ego that are feeding it, perpetuating it. I can see that. Trying to maintain the connection to it, because that's the energy, that fear energy, that anxiety energy that feeds it, that grows it. But I don't have to be anxious about feeling anxiety. Don't have to be fearful about feeling fear. Don't have to be irritated about feeling irritation. I can simply acknowledge that it's there and know that it's okay. And that feels good, actually. I can acknowledge that the experience of anxiety enhances my appreciation of the experience of peace. My experience of panic adds to my understanding of and appreciation of calm. I know that for sure. My feeling of overwhelm only adds to my sense of stillness, to my appreciation of and understanding of and capacity for stillness. The confusion only enhances the experience of clarity. I can be grateful for that. And then grateful for this experience as it is happening. Not needing to jump anywhere. Not needing to jump from the overwhelm or confusion into the clarity and peace. Just knowing. Knowing by allowing this experience, I am allowing the expansion of those things. And it is important that I allow this experience as it is. Those things could not expand otherwise. So let me allow this. And then there is a feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for myself. Gratitude for this opportunity. Gratitude for these sensations. Appreciation even of the novelty of them. The intensity of them. The piquancy. Appreciation for myself, for the willingness to feel, for my capacity to feel with such intensity, with such depth. My willingness to subject myself to such sensations. Appreciating the value of this contrast in the contrast. Not out of it, still in it, still in the contrast, just appreciating it, knowing that it has value, profound value. That as deep as I go into the pain, that is as deeply as I am expanding the other side of this. And that feels good. And it's different from suffering. It's not the sort of martyrdom, noble to suffer. It's, no, this journey is worthwhile because it is adding to my pleasure. Even if I am not experiencing that pleasure in this moment, I know it's adding to it. I know it couldn't do anything other than that. And I know that this is the way that it works. This is how I increase. This is how I expand my capacity, my experience of the other side of this. There's always two. There's always the other side of the contrast. It is always being increased. When we are allowing one, we are allowing the other to expand. When we are resisting one, we are resisting the expansion of the other. So in my lessening of resistance to this experience of discomfort, of contrast, of painful sensation, I am opening to the reception of the other side of it. I am lessening my resistance to the pleasurable sensation. I am in fact inviting it in. And that feels good. That creates a separate, encompassing sense of peace. Again, even as this exists, not seeking to change it, letting it be as it is. It's just sort of wrapped in a different layer. It's wrapped in appreciation, not resentment, not resistance, awareness, acceptance, allowance, understanding. The kind of understanding that is not logical, but unconditional, emotional. The allowing kind, the kind that is just, I understand you are feeling this. Let it be felt. I am here with you, witnessing, honoring, experiencing your expression in this moment. And that feels good. Still, the other is there. It's there. I feel it. And I'm not asking it to leave. I am appreciating it being here as it is. For as long as it wants to be, however it wants to be, it's allowed. And now there is still this feeling of being on a churning ocean, but there is an anchor. There's an anchor, the ship still swaying, the ground beneath me still moving, but there is something else now. An anchor, a pipeline to presence, this tube of oxygen, still underwater, still feeling the pressure, still feeling moved about, pushed about by the currents, but not suffocating, not drowning so much. There is this, it's like the sun peeking through the clouds. There's just this line, this stream, this connection to something else, this other energy that is peace, that is stability, that is sureness, that is flowing in while everything else is taking place, while the wind is whipping and the waves are crashing against the rocks, while the discomfort is occurring. There is a pipeline to peace. It's a bass note It's a drone sound. It's in the background, but it's there, underlying everything else, encompassing everything else. And so there's this separate layer of stability surrounding the instability. And I'm just gonna focus there and let the rest happen. Let it play itself out. Essentially going limp in the energy. Just do with me what you will. I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to adjust my focus and use the power of that, of my perception, to just soften my gaze internally. Not blocking anything out, allowing all of it, but allowing in this light, this breath, this air, sort of silver lining around the cloud. And by unfocusing my gaze, I can perceive it most clearly. So I'll just let my gaze remain unfocused in this way, diffuse, softened. And again, nothing in the scene has changed. It's all still there, but it's softer. It's lighter. It's surrounded by, encapsulated by this light, this peace. Sort of infusing it with the feeling of all rightness. I can still feel it, but it is shifted. It is shifted. It's like the volume's been turned down. It's not so loud. The overwhelm isn't quite so overwhelming because there is this sense of it is a detachment, but it's not a separation so much. It's a de-identification, it's a lessening, it's taking less seriously. It's a caring less. It is a no fucks given. Or at least a lot less fucks. Amazing how I still find those. I thought I gave them all away. They keep popping up. And I'm just gonna leave it there. So it is. It's okay to be not okay. It's really, really okay to be really, really not okay. All is still as all should be. You can't be anything but. And that is pretty amazing. Anyway, thank you for your witness. If you are one who has witnessed, if you are one experiencing this, I witness you. You are allowed. You are not wrong. You are right to be as you are. Let us breathe and rest in the peace of presence. This place, this life, this being that we are sharing together. Thank you for being. Thank you for your courage, your bravery, your willingness to expand so far, to reach so far into contrast that it could be experienced as such intense discomfort, as a feeling of such intense separation and pain. Know that nothing has gone wrong. Everything is as intended, and everything is working out for you, for us. You are mighty. Don't forget how big you are. You are the entire universe. I love you.